Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. You know, it's been a pretty bad couple of months for people on the left. Not only do we have a probable pro-gun decision coming from the Supreme Court, it seems today some information might have leaked that they're also going to overturn Roe versus Wade, the law that made abortion a right in this country. So people on the left are panicking. They already had the gun thing to be panicking about. Now they have the thing on the left to be panicking about. Well, since this came out today, there's been a couple of things I've had here. I've had people asking me, what do I think this means for gun rights? Does this have any reflection on what the court will do on gun rights? And what does this mean for the gun rights movement? Period. Is this something we should be celebrating? Someone sent me something saying, hey, is this something we should celebrate? Or is this something we should just let happen? You know, blah, blah, blah. We don't want to look like monsters. Well, I'll be honest. I'm someone that I can't say definitively how I feel about abortion rights. Pretty much when I was younger, I was just like, I don't really care because, her body, her choice kind of a thing. Because surprisingly, and this might shock some of you, I've never had an abortion. No matter how hard I've tried, I've never been in a position where I needed to have an abortion. So, and I don't think at my age I'm going to be having an abortion now. I think that would be a modern miracle of science if I was able to get pregnant for multiple reasons, being male being only one of those reasons. So I don't think I'm going to ever have to worry about an abortion. And therefore, I just kind of said, not my issue. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little more conservative on that issue because, I have kids that I've adopted. I'm like, well, what if their parents had aborted them? Well, I wouldn't have those kids now. So that makes you think a little bit if you're in my situation. So my feeling on abortion has evolved. I lean more towards pro-life than I do pro-choice. But I'm saying I understand people that are pro-choice because they don't want the government getting involved in their decisions. They don't want the government telling them what they can and can't do, getting involved in their health care. I understand that 100%, and I support that mindset. However, I also support people who don't want babies to get killed. That's how they see it. I might not see it that way with, like a fertilized egg. I don't believe in that religious crap of, it's the beginning, the spark of life. That's when it's a person. Let's let it get at least as big as a peanut, a single peanut, not a whole peanut, not in the shell peanut, a shelled peanut, one half of a peanut. Let's let it get at least that big before we start talking about personhood or anything about it. But I still understand 100% people who are anti-abortion because they think it's killing babies or they believe that. And it might be that. At least it is in their minds. So I lean more towards that. Because here's the thing. Even though I agree with government shouldn't be in your lives that much, I can't agree with anyone being pro-abortion. And I can't imagine anybody is pro-abortion. As a society, a modern society, we should be leading towards a place where we don't have abortions even being an issue. You don't have abortions happening because people get unintentionally pregnant, especially at young ages, because people are making better choices because of education and opportunity and health care. So we don't have that. And because health care has gotten so much better, we don't have to make the decision of the child's life or the mother's life because medical science has advanced beyond that. And maybe people aren't getting raped. Maybe we live in a society where rape is a thing of the past. That would be better than abortions, in my opinion. And plus, like I said, morning after pills are available. If you oh my God, I had unprotected sex last night, or oh my God, last night my husband's condom broke and we don't want to get pregnant, well, pop a morning after pill, prevent that pesky conception. Because until it embeds in the uteral lining, how important is it? Because eggs get fertilized all the time, but don't lodge in the lining and you don't get pregnant. So morning after pills, I'm kind of pro that. But I can understand where people are not pro-abortion. I don't think anybody is. If you are, you're probably a sick bastard. Now, I do wish the people who cared about all the babies cared more about them after they were born. It seems like once they squirt out of the hoo-ha. They don't care about them anymore, because if they did, we'd have a lot better social care structures for the children. We'd have better educational opportunities, better job opportunities when they get older. We'd have better systems in place to help families be better parents. We'd have all kinds of different things if they actually cared about them after they were born. But with that all being said, letting you know my opinion about abortion, which I'm not shy to let people know my opinion. You know that, because I'm not worried about pissing off sponsors, because I don't have any. And I'm not worried about, chasing away the fringe, and then they won't spend money on my discount codes, because I don't give discount codes, or watch my videos, because I don't want those people here anyway. I chase them off all the time. I do stuff to make sure they don't watch me. So I am not afraid of stating my opinion, unlike some other gun channels. So now that you know my opinion on it, how does it relate to gun rights? Is it any indication of anything whatsoever? Is it important? Should we be celebrating it? The answer to that is no. As a gun community, we shouldn't even be paying attention to this. It has absolutely fucking nothing to do with gun rights. Except for that it kind of does, and I'll get back to that in a little bit, so follow with me here. I mean, bear with me and follow along. It's going to get a little confusing, and some people are going to get lost. But I have faith in most of my viewers that you'll be able to follow me here. Because let's face it, I'm not that smart, so if I can come up with it, you can follow it. So what I wanted to say is, no, we shouldn't be making, oh, we won! Because like I said, I've gotten different emails from people asking me, what do I think about this? And I've gotten emails from different gun groups, because I belong to a lot of small gun groups across the country. Like Florida Carry and stuff in California and Nevada and Texas and Maryland and New Hampshire. And I give them like $10 a month, and I get these newsletters. Well, I've gotten like 3 already. Like, looks like we did it. Success at the Supreme Court. That's one for 2 now. We hope we can get the second one. Like praising the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Why would anyone want to muddy the Second Amendment with that? Because it's not important. It's not part of the Second Amendment. It's great if you're happy about it. Feel free to celebrate a victory. Don't make it part of the pro-gun platform. If you're an individual, you can say whatever you want, feel whatever you want. If you're a public face for the gun community, which is why I don't want to be one, because I don't want to have to limit what I say, and what people think about me is, well, he's pro-gun, that's all I know about him, which is what it should be if you're a pro-gun figure. I don't want to be a big pro-gun figure because of that. So if you run an organization, if you're on a national level whatsoever, keep the other shit out of the Second Amendment. Because here's how I feel about it. Pro-choice, pro-life, all of them, no matter how much they disagree on that issue, should be welcome under the Second Amendment and should feel welcome in any group that promotes the Second Amendment. So we don't want to get into fringe issues. We don't want to get into political issues other than the Second Amendment. So I don't think anyone should be taking, who is a public figure in the gun community, someone who's got like 5 million viewers, or, they have a TV show, or they run an organization. They should be keeping their mouths shut on the stuff that they believe outside the Second Amendment. They're supposed to be a spokesman for the Second Amendment. And you're not being a very good one if you're chasing off 50% of the people on one side or the other every time you open your mouth with your opinions. Stick to the Second Amendment. That's how I feel about that. But now let's look at, is this going to affect our gun rights? Or does it indicate what the Supreme Court is going to do regarding our gun rights? They got that decision coming up. In a way, I think it does. Now, some people are worried. They say, well, the Supreme Court is showing here that they're willing to overturn precedent, so that means they might overturn Heller or McDonald. I don't think so. Those were conservative opinions. Roe v. Wade was a progressive opinion. And here's the thing. What I think really shows us something that's really positive as far as the court relating to the Second Amendment now, as the court stands now. Roe v. Wade was decided on an obscure right, a right that isn't really written down. The whole case was decided on the fact that Americans have a right to privacy and the government not getting involved in their business, a general right to privacy. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that. But there are other instances where you do have a right to privacy, and the judges at that time basically said the Constitution implies that you have a right to privacy from the government getting involved in your affairs. So therefore, since abortion is a medical procedure that people use for contraception, then the government can't get involved in that and can't tell you you can't have one, or else they're violating your privacy to have it and no one know it. You know, kind of that thing. That's what Roe v. Wade was decided on. It might sound weird, but that's what it was decided on. It was decided on the court's opinion that the Constitution, in a roundabout way, gives you a right to privacy. It's not really written down, but it's understood, kind of. The Second Amendment is written down. So if the judges overturn Roe v. Wade, and if they use the example of, well, this right to privacy doesn't exist in the way the court used it, that means to me they're using a more literal interpretation of the Constitution. So they're saying this whole Roe v. Wade thing that was used is a vague understanding of a right that is supposedly granted, even though it isn't really written down, if you get my drift here. Whereas the Second Amendment is solid, written in stone. So to me, the two things that are indicated about the court and where I think they're going to go on the upcoming decision for the New York case is that they are more conservative now, clearly more conservative. The conservatives aren't afraid to be conservative if they overturn Roe v. Wade. And they're going with a more literal interpretation of the Constitution. And I can't see how that goes wrong. I think that will serve us well. So even though I'm not doing a jig about overturning Roe versus Wade, I'm not sad about it either. I think I can't foresee what's going to be the future outcome from it. But like I said, not sad. But I don't want to alienate anyone that is sad about Roe v. Wade being overturned from the Second Amendment. I want those people in the Second Amendment tent just as much as I want the pro-lifers. I want the pro-choicers and the pro-lifers to be able to hash out their differences either there while they're in the pro-gun tent or just agree to disagree about that while they agree about gun rights. So I don't want to latch onto it. I don't think it's a good thing for the gun community, especially if we do latch onto it. Like, that's why I don't like big talking heads that go out there and they're conservative this and conservative that and conservative that and judgmental this and, you know, anti-LGBT and blah, blah, blah. And we're the pro-gun voices. Either be the pro-gun voice or shut the fuck up. Because I don't want the guy who hates gay people to also be the pro-gun voice. That alienates people. So I don't like the fact that some people are celebrating it, because I don't mind that they like it. All four of them liking it, that's their right. And I'm not happy they don't like what happens. I just, like I say, don't want to divide the community anymore. Or at least I don't think big groups should be dividing the community anymore. But as far as what it says about the court, like I said, to me it just shows that they're more conservative and that they're going with a more literal interpretation of the Constitution. A way more literal interpretation than the people who decided Roe versus Wade. And in my opinion, that can only be good for gun rights. All right, everybody. Once again, I have gone way over. So I want to say thanks for coming. I do appreciate it. I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I just want to remind everyone to always carry, even if you're pro-life or you're pro-choice. The one thing I think we can agree on is that you should defend yourself and your family. At least I hope we can eventually agree on that. So, like I said, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.